Hello friends, welcome to Shriram's. The topic for today's discussion is gender budgeting, what, why and how. Backstory. Government budget is much more than a balance sheet of government finances. It is a sizable developmental intervention to carry forward constitutional goals like welfare and reduction of inequalities. Given the power of the purse, governments increasingly realize that the fiscal policy has considerable ability to influence national goals. This is one of the reasons that we are seeing the emergence of gender budgeting alongside other initiatives such as green budgeting, outcome budgeting, and child budgeting. The process of budget making has been evolving, and in India, in 2004, gender budgeting was introduced. 16 states also follow the same. So what is gender budgeting? Gender gaps persist in education, health, safety, employment, entrepreneurship, and public life opportunities and outcomes. Gender budgeting is a way for governments to close these gaps and promote equality through the budget process. It is not merely allocating women more money or creating a separate ministry for their development. It is applying gender lens when making and enforcing budget. Has the gender budget statement been effective? Gender budget statement or GBS informs what proportion of a government budget is being spent to empower women and pursue gender equality. It is a part of gender responsive budgeting. However, various studies show that GRB efforts are often limited to merely releasing the GBS. The GBS largely remains a post-budget reporting exercise. There are other problems with the methodology adopted to prepare GBS. It neither serves as a tool that informs policy making, nor does it enable policymakers to assess the additional steps needed to make the policies gender responsive. What is the criticism of gender responsive budgeting? While the GRB is a major step in the right direction, it regards women as a homogeneous group and does not give adequate attention to marginalized women and the multiple discriminations they face. Studies related to GRB also mainly focus on the efforts of government to incorporate gender issues in major policy documents. Can you describe gender lens? How does it help public policy for gender equality? Applying a gender lens reveals that economic and social development is determined by power relations between men and women. It highlights how gender bias can deny women their rights, opportunities, and resources. Such analyses can help redress gender imbalances through a redistribution of power and resources. Are there any preconditions for the success of gender budgeting? The elements which are important for an effective and enduring gender budgeting practice can be brought together into three key areas. First, a national gender equality strategy which outlines clear gender goals is necessary with political commitment and strong leadership. Second, incorporation of a gender perspective at all of the different stages of the budget process. Third, a supportive, enabling environment. What is the role of a supportive ecosystem to promote the success of gender budgeting? Gender budgeting will be most effective where there is supportive, enabling environment. This includes systematic collection of gender disaggregated data, training, and capacity development for government staff. Engaging and consulting citizens and experts, for example, through structured engagement with civil society or setting up expert consultative group to advise on gender budgeting to ensure it remains open to a broad range of inputs and viewpoints, especially critical viewpoints. Equally important is for gender budgeting to be a subject to oversight by accountability institutions such as the Parliament and the CAG. Social audit at the village and mandal levels is also crucial in India. Can we link gender budgeting to planning for the recovery from the pandemic, that is, building back better? The COVID-19 pandemic has deepened pre-existing inequalities and exposing vulnerabilities in social, political, and economic systems. Across every sphere, from health to economy, security to social protection, the negative impacts of COVID-19 are disproportionately borne by women and girls just because of their sex. These impacts risk reversing limited gains made on women's rights and empowerment made in the past decades. At the same time, women are on the front lines of response as healthcare workers, carers at home, etc. Unless the recovery process shows gender sensitivity, huge and precious chunk of human resource will be lost for the country. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast.